Have you ever felt like you're in a constant tug-of-war with your own desires? Like there's a part of you that yearns for something you know to be wrong, and yet it feels so natural, so inherent to your being that it's hard to resist. This is a struggle many of us face, a struggle with sin. Picture yourself in a small boat in the middle of a vast, stormy sea. The waves are your desires, pulling and pushing you in all directions. You try to row against them, but it's exhausting, futile even. This is what sin feels like. It's a tempest of temptation that threatens to pull you under. I once knew a man, let's call him John. John was a kind, loving person, but he was struggling with a particular sin, homosexuality. He told me that his desires for men felt as natural to him as breathing. He was conflicted, torn between what he felt and what he knew his faith taught him. But here's the thing, John's struggle is no different from anyone else's. Some might struggle with lust for women. Others might grapple with greed or envy. The nature of the sin doesn't matter, because the root of the problem is the same. It's the desire of the flesh, the yearning for something that goes against the spirit. In Galatians 5 verses 17 and 18, we read that the flesh desires what is contrary to the spirit, and the spirit what is contrary to the flesh. They are in conflict with each other, so that you are not to do whatever you want. But if you are led by the Spirit, you are not under the law. Our body's desires are at odds with God's desire for us. If we follow these desires, they will lead to destruction and pain. We can't simply do what we want, we must submit to God, to His Spirit, and obey His teaching. But here's the beautiful part. God is ready and willing to help us in this battle. We need only to turn to Him, confess our sins, recognize that our desires can be sinful and wicked. As stated in 1 John chapter 1 verses 8 to 10, if we claim to be without sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. If we confess our sins, He is faithful and just, and will forgive us our sins, and purify us from all unrighteousness. If we say we have not sinned, we make Him out to be a liar, and His word is not in us. The path to redemption is not easy, and it requires honesty. Honesty with ourselves and honesty with God. Those who deny their sins, who refuse to acknowledge the truth written on their hearts, cannot receive forgiveness or help from God. But those who confess, who admit their sins, will receive forgiveness and righteousness from God. So remember, the struggle with sin is a universal one. It's a stormy sea we all must navigate. But with honesty, confession, and faith, we can find the strength to row against the waves, to resist the pull of our desires, and to find our way to the calm waters of redemption.